Hartman, and I want to welcome you back to STL TV Live. Dedicated to facilitating the healing and self-empowerment of torture and war trauma survivors, I welcome Kristin Bulin. Now, that's a pretty vague introduction there because you guys have, you are really the executive director for the Center for Survivors of Torture and War Trauma here in St. Louis.
Yes.
Is that something that's unique to St. Louis, or is this something we find in other cities?
You know, I don't think it's unique. I think it's very silent. A lot of the individuals we work with are very vulnerable and don't really have a lot of voice. These are individuals who have suffered greatly in their own countries. Persecution of their religion, persecution of their political beliefs, persecution of just who they are, their ethnicity. And what happens is they deal with horrific situations in their own country. The great thing is that when they do flee and find a place, we're hoping that the United States has opened up to a large number of refugees. And St. Louis has been one area where refugees can find a new home. So they resettle here, and we've had a large number of resettled individuals from all over the world.
Yeah. Now, how long has the Center for Survivors of Torture and War Trauma been open here in St. Louis?
We've been open since 2001.
Okay.
So the whole idea behind the center came about because we were seeing a large community of, in the 80s and 90s, asylum seekers from Central America, South America. And what happened was the founder, Jean Abbott, noticed when she was working with individuals that these people were really suffering mentally, psychologically. They had a hard time comprehending, understanding the whole system. They didn't know their language, the English language. The shock of this system really makes it very difficult. And what they want to do is find a safe place, take care of their family, take care of themselves.
And not be victims anymore.
And not be victims anymore. So they are survivors, but they're trying to rebuild their lives.
Do you feel, and it seems to me like there are a lot of agencies in St. Louis, in the St. Louis region, who are dedicated to helping that resettlement once they get here and dedicated to navigating some of the systems.
Right.
But you guys provide something that's a little bit different, a level of service. Talk about what you guys do.
Yeah, International Institute, the Catholic Family Resettlement Services, they do that cornerstone of resettlement. We're like the second, the second phase, if you will.
Yeah.
And so we provide a mental health, holistic mind-body way of working with the trauma that they still have. So they're not only, it's like a trifecta, I say. It's a trifecta of, one, dealing with the horrific murder, rape, loss of a lot of family members from their country, and then they flee to maybe a refugee camp. There's a lot of unsafety there. Then they flee to another country. Then they come here. The shock of the system here is a whole nother trauma. So they come with a great deal of pain, having a hard time with triggers, maybe sounds. They see police officers in the streets. And our police are here to help, not in the countries that they come from. And it can be very difficult for them to get out and then engage and learn.
Culturally, is it hard? I mean, I even think here culturally in the United States, we have a hard time seeking mental health help, because there's a stigma associated with that, and that my problem is my problem, and I'm going to take care of it. What happens in the family stays in the family kind of thing. So how many people are you serving? Are you encountering that as kind of an obstacle in serving the population of refugees?
You know, St. Louis is the largest of the Bosnian community outside of Bosnia-Herzegovina, but we also work with individuals from Africa, Ethiopia, Liberia, the Congo, Afghanistan, Iraq. We've had a population who've resettled here from Nepal, refugees, Bhutanese who were in Nepalese camps. And so what we'll try to do is see as many as we can. Last year we saw over 200.
That's amazing. So you
It's
saw
very
200
difficult.
in a year, and we're going to
In a
talk a
year.
little bit more about that, and then maybe overcoming some of the obstacles you've encountered.
Sounds good.
But I know that you've learned a little bit about the Center for Survivors of Torture and War Trauma here in St. Louis.
We're going to test you at the end.
I know, if I can get it all out. See, now they put it on the screen for you at home, so you can make sure that I'm saying it right. They're located on Newstead Avenue in the Grove. The number is 314-533-4114. And more information can be found online at stlcenterforsurvivors.org. Kristin's going to stay with us so that we can talk a little bit more about an event that's coming up and how you can get involved. So don't go away.